Space-based repetition is the answer to all of your problems, and this is the app that allows you to do it. Anki is an app that medical students worship. Every single one of us has used this at some point to help us pass our exams. If you're studying your GCSEs, your A-levels, whatever, this will take your knowledge to the next level. It uses something called active recall and spaced repetition, which is proven to be so effective at learning vast amounts of information. Alright guys, so this is how Anki works. As you can see on the left, we have our different decks. So these don't actually have any information, yeah? I just kind of made them start with. So I've got cardiology, endocrinology, etc. And so let's go into cardiology first. So we've not got any flashcards yet. Let's add one and I'll show you how to do it. So once you've clicked add, you can just make up a question. Let's just do, I don't know, what is the heart? Something simple, and let's just put an organ for the answer. Then I click add. So this then goes into my bank of questions. So I can close that now, and you can see instead of having that blank screen, it's now got a study now option. So I click study now and I get my question. What is the heart? Click show answer, and at the very bottom you can see there are different options based on how easy I found this question. Because I found this question very easy, I would click easy. And it says 3 days, which means that in 3 days time that flashcard is going to reappear at the top of the deck and the app will test me on it. Alright, so now I'm going to give you an example of a deck that I've actually already made. So we've got this respiratory deck here. If I click on it, you'll notice that I've got 20 new cards that I'm supposed to learn today. So what I'll do is I'll click study now, and then I get given my first question like before. Think about what the answer is, show the answer, and then I get to pick when they're going to test me. If at any point I want to browse through those flashcards that I've made, all I do is click browse, and then I can actually go through every single one of them and study from them that way if that's what I prefer. I'll just finish by saying that actually making the flashcards is what requires the most time. So at the very start, what I recommend doing is getting all the information from your notes and just inputting it. It might take a couple of weeks or a month, but once you have that, every single day you can start doing your flashcards then, and slowly you'll build up that bank of knowledge. Let me give you an example of how I used it. This year I had to learn obstetrics and gynecology for my medical school, pediatrics, mental health, pathology, which had hematology, immunology, chemical pathology, just a load of stuff, probably about 500 pages worth of A4. But using Anki for about 2 hours a day every morning, I was able to learn that in a matter of months. Alright guys, another thing that I'm going to show you is how I categorize all my notes. So you'll notice that I start, say, with a big headline such as third year conditions. I like using OneNote to do this, and then I make my different sections. So you can see here that we've got gastro, endo, cardio, resp, and then once you go on to them, you've got your different medical conditions within them. Obviously, depending on what subject and what level you're doing, you're going to structure it slightly differently. And then obviously you can click on each one, and it's going to have all the information like this. One thing that I used to actually do was I would write a question, and then I would color the answer in with something similar to the page color so that it goes invisible. It's not really working right now, so I'll just put it in black and hopefully, yeah, you can't read it. And then I'll try and answer it, and then I can highlight it again if I want to read what the answer is. This is something that you can do kind of as opposed to Anki to get that active recall. And when I say active recall, that's just the process of actually thinking of what the answer is on your own instead of, say, multiple choice where you can see the options in front of you. And active recall is actually amazing at forcing you to remember stuff. One final strategy that you might want to use is Excel. So what you can do is go through a specification and just make a list of all the different topics that you have to learn, and then once you've either put them into your Anki decks or your OneNote or whatever you choose to use, you can check how confident you are by some sort of color scheme. So this is something which I've not actually really done throughout my time, but I know a lot of people have found success with it. That concludes everything that I have to say. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please do subscribe. And if you have any other questions on anything that I've spoken about, just leave a comment down below. See you next time.